This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. 2019, a relatively new brand to the modelling market, kind of started to make a bit of a fuss about what was going to be the next coming of Jesus, and between them making sort of lots of claims about what was coming and actually delivering it, I believe Fractal came out with the FM9, which I think probably has a better claim to being the most powerful floor modeler in the world. Now, the reason being that well, there's a difference between sort of untapped potential and real potential. So, for instance, you wouldn't want a toddler driving a Formula One racing car, right? And so, you know, if you put at the hands of certain engineers a load of power, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get a better job done. So the Fractal FM9 came out. It's essentially like the power of two FM3s, almost as much as an Axe FX3, but not quite. The really useful stuff about the Fractal stuff, if you're wondering about what makes this stuff more powerful, is I think that you can take any switch and pretty much do anything with it. You can also take the switches, you can hold them and toggle stuff. You've got the most flexible foot switching that you've got on any of the modelers by quite some margin, and you've got, I think, up to, is it 9 or 12 layouts that you can easily switch between, as well as having two XLR outputs, as well as humbuster on outputs 1 and outputs 3 and 4 as well. Got SPDIF in and SPDIF out, got MIDI ins and outs. You've got a ground lift there. And not only that, you've got the most amps by far in any other modeler. You've got the most effects. You've got the most granular capability of actually getting into any of the effects and tweaking them. It's easily the most tweakable modeler there is. I think it's probably the most road-ready modeler there is. You know, you see people out there using them, especially now that normal people can actually get on the waiting lists and there's less of a waiting list. So I think in the UK you can grab FM9s without any wait list. I think they've got them available. There might even be the FM9 Turbo. This is just the FM9 Basic. Anyway, I think it would be pretty uncontroversial to say that actually it's not that new thing. This is actually the most powerful floor modeler because this can do so many more things that you cannot do on that new thing. And so yeah, I also get people sort of asking me about whether they should switch from Fractal to that new thing. And often my answer is I don't think you're missing out, to be honest, at the moment. And maybe one day they'll do something that means that they've caught up in some way. But to me, it seems like this is the much more mature product. This is the much more professional product. It's bigger, yes, but it's also kind of better. The amps oversampling at 16 times. You know, it all sounds good. You've got so many choices of amps in there. You know, loads of Dumble amps in there, loads of Vox amps, loads of Fender amps. Anything you can shake a stick at. Splawns, Camerons, Morgan AC20s. And you can tweak whichever amps you've got in there to sort of be more like what you might like. So if you want to change out the tubes, if you want to change aspects of the input EQ, there's so much more that you can do with this than any other unit really, that I think it'd be yeah, that's my opinion. Now, the one semi-drawback with the Fractal FM9 is that editing on the device itself may not be quite as easy as on some other units, so I'm going to show you how you do that now and show you what it's like to build a basic preset. But there's also a really good desktop editor, which is another thing which in 2023 you'd expect, I think, your modeler to have a desktop editor reasonably, because these are floor units, they're called floor modelers. Why not keep them on the floor while you edit with them, potentially, if that's your bag. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you rather have a toddler driving your Formula 1 racing car or an adult driving a Ford Escort? It's not quite a Ford Escort, is it? But you get what I mean.
You sort of build stuff from scratch with a Fractal unit. So first of all, when you open things up, you see this scene thing. We can go to layout. This is a thing that took me a while to work out, but you press enter, basically, you can hold it in, and you basically set up your own kind of grid. Now, initially that might seem kind of laborious, but in time you'll probably start to think that that is super useful, because you can do way more flexible stuff than you can on any other modeler by far. Right, start here. I'm going to put a compressor, press enter, and then there's obviously a range of things. Once you press edit, you have loads of different pages for every single thing. The menu systems kind of remind you of where you were last time you were on that. So if you go edit, it'll be on that side chain page there or whatever. I'm going to go for a dynamic comp and have the compression fairly high and the output level fairly high too. I'm going to be building a specific kind of tone that I've got in my head that I want to try. So on this path here, the amp I'm going to go for will be the ODS 100 Ford, I think. I'm going to have the bright switch on, maybe the mids up a bit, treble down a bit, and gain and overdrive just where they are seems fine. Then I need to add in a cab, so edit cab, and I really like the factory cab 103, I think is one of my favorites. So I'm going to use that. You go down here, you've also got high cuts and stuff like that, which could be really useful. And again, loads of pages. So we've added a compressor, an amp, and a cab. I'm going to go further up here, and then I'm going to add my delay. So enter, delay. We'll go for something, well, let's actually go for something super cool. So if I go multi-tap delay, and then we can use the Andy Timmons thing. Aurora delay and mix. I'm going to take, well, that'll be fine where it is, I think. Right, and then last of all, I'm going to have a reverb. Where are you, reverb? Let's try Ice Castle. That sounds nice. And if you go to advanced page, you've actually got different qualities that you can use. Let's use ultra high, because why not? I feel like it's time to get bonkers. Right, so that is one path. Okay, so we've got one path, and then what I'm going to do is add down here another one, because why not? If we've got all of this power, why not use it? So I'm going to go find the Route 66 is what I want. Here we go, Highway 66, and we'll keep that all the same. And we'll go to here, add another cab, edit. And I'm going to go for something Vox E. Oop. Factory 2. Match this. 121. Let's go like a 160B. And keep everything else the same. Right, so then we're just going to enter down here. And then join back up. That's super fun. Right, I'm going to stick a drive pedal here. Let's just take a little look at some of the drive stuff. What can we chuck on? We got a Klon. Could have a Timmy. Let's go with the Zen Master. That's got a really nice kind of fuzzy tone to it. I'm going to turn the voice down. I think that's one of the aspects there. Right, now let's just set up some scenes. So scene 1 I want to be without the drive, so we'll just bypass. Then scene 2, we just need to watch what happens. So I want that one on for scene 2. Just check that nothing else changes. I want everything else on channel A. And then scene 3, I'm going to keep everything on channel A, maybe bypass the reverb, or that. So then, what could we call this? Dumble. So if anyone tells you like it has to take ages to build presets on this sort of device, tell them they're wrong. Yeah, so if you want to try that preset, jump into the Gumroad links. I'll add that one up there. I hope that is a sort of tone that you might want to play. I'm really enjoying it already. And that's what I was using in the introduction. Nothing complicated going on. The Fractal stuff does just tend to want to sound really awesome, I find. Catch you in another video soon. Cheers for stopping by.